so that we get her. But and then once we start, if y'all will, go ahead and mute yourselves, and then you can unmute yourself for the Q&A section, which we'll do here in just a minute. So, okay.
Do you give instructions on how to mute ourselves?
I can mute you.
Okay.
Luckily,
Damn
I
it,
got
you
control.
sound,
I
She
got
said
control.
that with a
I can
smile on her. She said that with a smile on her face. Did you notice? I have the power. I can
She
mute
has
you
the
all.
power.
You can unmute yourself, or I can mute you if you cause too much trouble. So
Hey,
anyway.
Liz, I have a question. Is that your like wish list poster on the wall there of an iMac?
Yep, that's one of my things. I don't have a. I have instead of a, what is it, a vision board, I have a vision wall. I just put it all on the
Okay.
wall.
I see that. It's an iMac, huh? That's what you're looking for.
Okay. Well, Linda said they're having a problem getting Wi-Fi in Hawaii, so she may jump on later, but I'm going to go ahead and start. So this is our Tuesday book club. It's the Dynamic Authors Group Tuesday book club reading, and we appreciate all of you who are visiting with us tonight, and we hope that you'll come back. We do this every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, 7 Mountain, and 6 Pacific time. And if you're in other parts of the world, you'll just have to figure it out, because I'm not that great with the time stuff. But we appreciate y'all being here tonight. Our author is Sharon Allen, and Sharon is going to be reading from one of her children's books for us tonight. She's going to be reading Jake, Homeless to Hero. And Jake is book 1 in the America's Dog to the Rescue series that Sharon has. And the other books in that rescue dog book series are Charlie's Dream and Lizzie to the Rescue. So we may have her come back and read those later on. So always check back in the schedule. We have a Facebook page, and you can find it under Dynamic Authors Group, and all of our recordings, our readings will be listed there, as well as the other books of different authors that we have that are a part of our group. So Sharon also writes romances, and she may be back reading one of those later in the year. But we really think that children will enjoy this book about a homeless dog who becomes a hero. They'll learn about the hardship of some of our veterans that they have faced when they've come home from fighting in wars around the world. And Jake, Homeless to Hero, is the story of a smart black Labrador who longs to be loved and to belong to a family who needs him. So, Sharon Allen, we're so glad to have you, and you can take it from here.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for being here. And I'm going to switch now to Word, where I can read my part for you. Okay. Bear roamed around trying to make friends with the man in the front yard. The man threw a rock at him and yelled. The little girl he had run up to started screaming, and her mother ran him off. He was getting very hungry and tired. He smelled something good, and it was coming from a big can. He tried to look inside, and it fell over, spilling everything out. He ate what smelled good. He found an old shed behind one of the houses and lay down to sleep. He was woken up by the sound of a big truck. The man in the truck yelled for him to go away, and he ran as fast as he could. After about a week, he was far away from his yard. He was heartbroken. Even if Jimmy was mean to him, he still missed him. He was wandering down the street when a couple of dogs came out of an alley and started growling at him. He froze. After they came up and smelled of him, they decided he's okay. The three of them had a lot of fun, knocking over trash cans and chasing cats. One day they were running down the street and a big truck pulled up. A man with a snare got out. He whistled for the dogs, and Bear's 2 friends ran off. Bear thought maybe the man would take him home, so he went up to the man wagging his tail. The man grabbed Bear by the neck and put him in the back of the truck. Bear was so afraid. What's going to happen to me, he thought. Why doesn't anybody want me? The ride in the truck finally came to an end. The door opened and the man picked up Bear and took him inside. The room was very bright. He was put in a cage and the door locked shut. Bear was shaking. What's going to happen to me, he thought. A woman brought him some water, and when she opened the door, he backed up as far as he could in the cage. You don't have to be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. You must be thirsty. Your tongue's hanging out. After the vet looks at you, you can have some food. When she left, Bear drank all of the water. That lady was nice. I wonder if she likes me, Bear thought. The lady came back with a man she called the vet. He opened the door, and again Bear backed up as far as he could in the cage. You don't have to be afraid. He held out his hand to Bear. He gently took him out of the cage. Let's take a look at you, fella. After the vet examined Bear, he told the lady he called Mary. He felt like Bear was okay, just then. He was going to run some tests just to make sure. The lady was holding Bear and loving on him while the vet checked him out. Bear thought she sure smells good. Then she brought him a big bowl of food, and boy, was he hungry. The lady rubbed his head and told him he was a sweetheart. Bear licked her hand to say thank you. It was the first time anyone had been nice to him. A lot of people came to see Bear, but his favorite was Mary. She took him to the fenced backyard and let him run around. She even played ball with him. One morning, a couple of ladies and a man they called Mike came to see Bear. He had decided the people here were okay, so he didn't try to hide in the back of his cage. The vet and Mary came in and they all talked about Bear. They took him out of the cage and all made a big fuss over him. He liked that. I think he would be perfect, the Mike said. One of the ladies knelt down and hugged him. He's just what we've been looking for. What about a name? She asked. How about Jake? That name is on our list. That's perfect, the Mike said. He put a leash on Jake. You're going with us, Jake, and you'll have a good home. Bear liked his new name, Jake, and he liked these new people. I'm going to have a good home, he thought. Someone wants me, and Mike likes me. When they got into the car, Jake got to ride right beside Mike. You're going to have a new life, Jake. You'll be trained to be a helping hand to a U.S. veteran who needs you. You'll serve your country. Jake didn't know what all that was about, but he was just happy to be wanted. Jake's new home was a training center. He was fed good and had a great place to sleep. He was always with Mike. He loved Mike. They were friends. He was learning a lot of new things. He could open doors, pick up things, and give them to Mike. He also learned to pull heavy things and to react when Mike fell on the floor. Most of the time it was fun, but sometimes it was hard work too. His training took months. He learned so many things. Mike told him all the time how proud he was of him. He got lots of love. One day, Mike and Jake were finishing up some lessons. Mike sat down and put his arm around Jake. Jake, you've done more than I've ever asked of you. Your training's coming to an end. You'll be graduating soon. Everyone is talking about how well you have done and all you've learned. Your skills are unbelievable. You are more than ready. I am so proud of you. He hugged Jake, and Jake licked his face to show his love. 2 days later, Jake heard a lot of excitement. Everyone was getting ready for graduation. Mike and Jake were wearing matching banners. There were a lot of people sitting in chairs. Jake was led up onto the stage where he and Mike were seated. A man stood in front of them and talked to the people in the chairs. There was a lot of applause. When the man had finished speaking, he turned and motioned to Mike. Mike led Jake to the front of the stage, and Jake, as trained, sat at Mike's side. Mike said something to the people Mike said something to the people, and then he knelt down and placed a ribbon and a medal around Jake's neck. You have made me proud of you, Jake. You have earned the title of Sergeant Jake. You have finished at the top of your class. He stood back and saluted Jake. Everyone applauded again. Jake didn't understand the ribbon or the net around his neck or the medal, but he knew Mike was proud of him. Mike had tears in his eyes. He had worked hard for Mike. He had been good to him, and he loved Mike. A week later, Mike and Jake were sitting in a room where Jake had never been. Mike seemed sad. Jake put his head in his lap, and Mike rubbed the top of his head. A man and lady came into the room. The man was on crutches, and a part of his leg was missing. He sat down across from Jake and Mike. Mike rose up and Jake did also. Mike stopped in front of the man. Alan, this is Jake. He's going to be your new companion and friend. You will work with him until you know each other so well you're like one person. Jake, say hello to Alan. Jake raised his paw to shake with Alan. He's beautiful, Alan said. How do you know he will like me? Jake just needs to know that you love him and he loves to be loved. He was at the top of his class. He was promoted to Sergeant Jake. I felt something was different, Jake thought. He's letting Alan give me commands. Then he left the room and left me with Alan and this lady he called wife. Alan came almost every day for a couple of weeks, and I would work with him, doing the things I was trained to do. Mike didn't spend much time with us. That'd be it.
Right. Okay, that's great.
Everybody there? I can't see you now.
Right.
Yeah, we were on mute. Very good. Very good. Very interesting. Really nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. I have lost you in the view here.
Go back. Got it back on.
Good job, Mom.
Thank you.
Sorry you can't hear me. Sorry you can't see me.
I'm proud of you,
Well, I
Mom.
can't see
Sharon.
anybody right now. I don't know what happened to. Oh, there you are. Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Right.
Well,
If
Go
you
ahead.
take it off of speaker view, Mom, then that way every time somebody speaks, it won't pop up. You can go to gallery view.
Right.
I'm
You can see
sorry.
every-
I did. What
Top
did you-
right corner, you'll be able to pick view, pick gallery view.
I think that's the one I have on. Okay.
Yeah, now you should be able to see everybody.
I can
Right.
see everybody.
Everybody's saying hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
So does anybody
Hello.
have any questions for Sharon? So usually we read for about 15 minutes and then we do Q&A and let anybody ask any questions they might have about Sharon and how she wrote or where she had the ideas that came to her or why she's writing about rescue dogs, anything like that.
Yeah, Sharon, that would be my question, actually. Where did you come up with the idea? What did it dawn on you that this would be something you'd like to do?
Well, I'm a big supporter of vet dogs. I don't think our veterans have half the support that they need. And I don't know, I just decided to write a book about it. And then part of the proceeds, of course, of the book go to the Vet Dog Association. So I'm a big animal person too. So then we came up with the idea of having a series, one about a firefighting dog and the other about a rescue dog.
Mountain rescue, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think is the most important thing that kids need to know when they read this book? What's the most important thing they can learn from these books? I know they've all got a message. What's the particular message in this book?
Well, let me get my book and I'll show you. I was going to show y'all some pictures. The lady that did this did an excellent job. I don't know. Can you see this okay?
Yeah, if you hold it up higher.
Hold it a
yeah.
little higher. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Okay. That's, of course, Mary and Jake. And then this is when he's getting to ride with Mike in the car. And of course, the lessons, I'll read you the lesson in the back of this one. I try to put a lesson in the back of each one of my books so the children will, get something more than just hopefully get something more than just a book read out of it. I guess it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. You can be anything you want to be if you work hard. I've trained and worked hard, and look at me now. I'm a vet dog. I'm Sergeant Jake. And I think children need to know that if they have a disability, it doesn't matter. They can, if people make fun of them, I guess I should say that's their problem. I think children can learn to adapt, and children are absolutely excellent when it comes to overcoming problems. And I think with encouragement, all kids can overcome problems. And I think they need to have all the support that they can get.
Wow, good answer.
Thank you.
Back to you. Back to you for 100. What are your plans for the next book? You've got these 3 out. Do you have another one in the works?
I do have a book. It's not a children's book. I have a new one that just came out. It's called Escape to Live, and it deals with abuse. It deals with fear. It deals with love. It deals with mystery, and that one just came out. I do have 2 or 3 other children's books that Liz is working on right now. One of them's called I Danced with My Daddy. It's one of the 4 books that I have coming out. It's about a little boy, a little girl that has lost her daddy. And she's trying, this is a way of coping with it. The book explains things and it's done in poem form. And it's to help kids but accept what I'm trying to say, enjoy what they had with their daddy and remember all of the good things that they had with their daddy and know that he's in a better place. And then I have one for a little boy who's lost I have one for both mother and daddy, for the little boy and the little girl. And they'll be coming out soon.
Yeah. And then we have
Wow.
Chloe's New School is the first children's book that Sharon wrote, which was about moving. And it helps children engage in, and learn how to, get along maybe in a new place. And so if you got anybody that's moving or somebody that has family that's moving or that moves a lot, that might be a good book for them. It's called Chloe's New School.
Yeah,
Sharon,
it shows how she can interact with other children, because at first she doesn't want to even go to school because she left all of her old good friends back home. But then this one little girl goes out of her way to meet her and to make her feel at home, and they end up being best friends. So it's
Sharon, do you have a clear picture of what you want your characters to look like in the book, or do you leave that up to the illustrator? How do you work that out?
No, actually, in Jake, I have a dog named Jake, and then I also have a great grandson named Jake who's somewhere around. I don't know. Oh, there he is. And
The trot named Jake.
yes, who the book was named after. And I sent her pictures of Jake, and she actually went from the pictures. And then on my other books also, I came up with pictures that I liked for the dogs to look like. So.
And when did you start writing?
In college.
Okay.
I never knew that.
In college. And I had to write short stories for my English class. And they were like 3 or 4 pages long. And one of them was The Swing, the first book that I actually made into a book.
Yes, I loved it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was, I could identify, and I see Gloriana here, I could identify with quite a few friends that I went to school with that are in the book. But I didn't write anymore after college until I turned 70. Don't tell anybody that. That's when The Swing, Liz helped me. No, I guess I'm sorry, that was done before Liz. But that was my first book.
Have you thought about writing a book about a sheepdog named Sasha who liked tequila?
Who raised 3 very mischievous girls?
Yes.
And
who knew
No.
girls.
Yeah, and she knew how
The
to
dog,
spell.
the dog was mischievous, not the girl.
Oh, yeah,
The dog could
I don't
spell.
recall ever climbing onto a table and eating a pot roast. That was the dog.
Actually,
Becky, I never saw you licking tequila off the floor either, Becky.
I have.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm going through a tunnel.
this was a big old English sheepdog that I had, and he was wonderful. But that's a good idea. I've got a lot of pictures of Sasha. I might just write a book about him.
So you
I
want to
remember,
go?
I remember Sasha.
Susie?
Tell her,
Yes,
tell her
ma'am.
why you remember. Tell her why you remember Sasha Kelly.
Because Sasha drank tequila.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah.
Surprise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sasha drank a margarita or
Oh, dear.
tequila or something. Yes.
All I
Well,
know is she
I'm-
knew how to spell.
I'm sure it was an accident.
oh, I'm sure it was. Okay, all you people who are in my group, you're learning a lot of things you probably shouldn't know.
Hey, Mom, I'm
That's
gonna
why.
jump
That's
off.
why.
Well,
That's why we want to meet.
What?
Yeah, that's why
Melinda?
we want to meet again next week so we can tell some more stuff.
Yeah.
Melinda?
I'm gonna jump off. Randy's back home, and we are gonna start cooking dinner. So I'm gonna jump off. I'm glad I got to see you read this. It was really
Thanks
good.
for
Mom.
joining us.
I love you. Tell Randy
All right.
Sue love him too.
Will do.
Bye, Melinda.
Bye, Melinda.
That is my youngest daughter.
She's so cute.
Thank you.
She's all grown up.
Yes.
Oh, look, now Kelly's drinking tequila.
Okay, does anybody have any legitimate questions?
I just want to say how proud I am of you. I think it's awesome that you're doing this.
Well,
That's
thank you.
Susie, Mom. It's Susie.
That was Susie that said that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was Susie. If I could figure out how to work the video, I would, but I've been sick today. You probably don't want to see me anyway.
Oh, well, thank
But-
you, Susie. I appreciate that.
Well, you're an awesome woman who I love very much. And it's just really, really neat to see you doing this.
Thank you. Well, it took a lot of, I was very, very nervous. I've read the same pages about 6 times, so I wouldn't mess up so bad.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Yeah, you
Great
did.
job. Great
I
job.
was so
You did
nervous.
do good. You
Thank
did do good. I'm very proud of you. And do you have any way to try and get any of these books into the libraries at the schools?
That's Miss Liz, and we've been
Yeah.
talking about that at our book club meetings. And Liz is working on some stuff like that, and hopefully,
Yeah,
when
but if
things,
you've got a local library, and you've got a name of the local librarian, if you want to give that or send that to us, we certainly would send them. But we've got a list of libraries and bookstores and other things that we're going to be sending out. We're actually going to start sending out some things this week. We have a huge list that we recently acquired, and so we're going to be doing all of that kind of stuff. And then our hope is in the fall, I know they're talking about earlier, but I know there's probably most of us aren't going to be jumping out there in the next week. But we
Right.
hope that in the fall or in the spring for sure that we'll start doing book signings again and traveling and going to events and library conferences and things like that. We have all of those things in our plans. So
yeah, we had a wine and cheese tasting party with, excuse me, with our books and some readings maybe planned. And then, of course, when the COVID thing hit, we had to shut down quite a few of them, so we didn't get to have any. But hopefully,
Mine's still going. They didn't cancel mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
right,
so glad.
we all got to go to Kelly's house for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had planned to do an
absolutely.
event in April of last
Boy,
year.
Kelly, we really appreciate you stepping up for all of us and keeping it going. It's
I'm doing it for
necessary.
Sharon. It's all about your mom.
Thank you, Kelly.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, like I said, y'all are learning an awful lot about me.
this was really wonderful. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to maybe try to hop on next Tuesday and hear your other author. And Mom, whenever we get back there, COVID ought to be a little bit more better under control. And I can help you go around to some of the libraries and maybe we can get you to read
Oh.
as well.
Oh, that
I
would be
think
good.
Lindsay has a question.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite thing about it?
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Do what?
Louder. What's your favorite thing about it?
About Jake?
Yes.
About
about
reading,
the book.
writing.
What's your favorite thing about the book?
About the book. Well, I think it talks about a little dog that was mistreated, and then he finds a good home, and then he goes from a good home to be helpful to a person who was was hurt in the military, and he gets to help him.
Good answer.
Josh, what did you want?
Well, I was just telling you Lindsay had a question, but actually, since you mentioned that, I was just wondering if you've thought about giving a reading or giving books to places that do deal with not only dogs, but also, women and children and others who have been, abused or neglected or.
Actually, I have sent several to St. Jude's and to Children's Health and to a woman's shelter here in Dallas, and also to there was another one, and I can't remember who else it was, but I have sent several of those out, and hopefully they enjoyed them. I did get a lot of good feedback from the people I sent them to, saying the kids really, really enjoyed them. So I was glad. That made me feel good.
And
That's a great idea.
And the vet organization too has them. The vet dog organization has some, and then $1 of the proceeds from the book sold go there. So if you haven't got your book, you can go to Amazon.com, and it's Sharon Allen, SharonAllen, Sharon Allen. If you just put Sharon's name in, most of her books should come up. But yeah, obviously there is probably another Sharon Allen, as that's
there is. So
look for Jake, Homeless to Hero, or put Sharon Allen and Jake in the search bar at the top of Amazon, and you should be able to find it.
I have a question. What happens to the proceeds if someone buys a Kindle book? Because I know they're a lot less than the regular books.
It's still $1.
Oh, okay.
$1
I
of
didn't
any
know.
book that is sold. Hi,
Yeah, because
Hester.
we don't have the cost for for the Kindle, we don't have the paperback cost. So
But I just anytime a book of any one of them of the three is sold, $1 goes. I've already sent some checks to the Vet Association.
Good. Okay. I'm really proud of you, Mom. You've done a really good job.
I love that.
Thank you. I have my own fan club.
And here we are.
I have to say, I have some wonderful daughters and also adopted daughters.
Thank you.
And I have a wonderful family. I'm very, very blessed.
Well, you're very talented.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're so pleased that you're writing and getting to do something that you love. That's something you always wanted to do, but it was just, when you work and you have kids and you're married, you have all the responsibilities. Sometimes it's hard to work things in. So we're very pleased that you're getting to do something that you really enjoy. So if anybody wants to write, like you say, you're never too young, you're never too old. And you're never too young, you're never too old. Or in between. So we encourage you to do that. We appreciate it. Does anybody else have any questions? Next week we have Miss Hester Moore is going to be back with us, and Hester has a book called 16 and 68, My Story. She was 16 years old, and she was living in Memphis, and she participated in some of the civil rights marches and boycotts for the sanitation workers there. And so she's going to be reading again from her book for Women's History Month. This is March is Women's History Month for any of y'all that don't know. And so we hope that you'll come back next week at 8:00, the same time. You can find the link on our Facebook page, which is basically just Dynamic Authors Group. And if you just put that in the Facebook search bar, it should come up. If you look on Sharon's page or my page under author Liz Lawless, they'll be listed there. And the links will be there. We'll post the links, the day of on Tuesday morning, and we'll do some pre-promotion before that. But we'd love for y'all to come back. We'd love for you to invite friends. This is something we do every Tuesday with a different author. Alicia Adamson will be reading the following week, and she has a series about her family. She has a daughter, Morgan, and so and they have twin boys. And so she has a series about their family called the Adamson Family Crew Chronicles, and Morgan's becomes a big sister. And so it's all about having siblings and not being sure you want to have siblings, especially
See,
two at one time.
by the
So,
way,
Dribble that remark.
yeah,
by the way, I see one of my other granddaughters here, Miss Candy.
yeah, there she is.
How are
And Candy
you?
writes too.
Candy Cane, I like that handle. Very cute.
And Candy's a writer as well. So we have some writing in the family.
Even Mackenzie is a writer.
Oh,
Her daughter,
good, good.
Oh,
Oh,
a
that's
great,
right.
gosh, great granddaughter. I have several of those, and several of the mint kind too.
Also, I want to say that we're offering a special for March Women History on my book. So, Liz, you might want to tell them about that too.
Right, that's right. So any of the books authors that read, probably all of their books can be found on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and other places. But yeah, Hester, we've got a $3.99 on the ebook and $7.99, which is half price for Women's History Month. So
Wow.
if you want a paperback, so it's a good deal. You can go do that now. If you have anybody that's interested in civil rights or politics
Yeah.
or social justice,
Street.
things like that, this would be a great book for them because it's very interesting and very well told story, but very astonishing story as well. And we're glad that Hester's here to share it with us. So. Does anybody have any other questions for Sharon? We try to keep our calls to about 30, 45 minutes, but we appreciate y'all coming
I
out.
have a question for her.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how long did it take you to finish the Jake book? And is it a fiction or nonfiction? I didn't hear that part.
It's just a story about a little dog that becomes a
Okay.
vet dog. He was
Okay.
actually, the first of it is he's mistreated by the little boy who just demands to his parents that he gets a dog, and then he mistreats it. But then Jake goes on to be found and be loved and taught to be a vet dog, and ends up going to help a service person and be their other their assistant, their helper.
Okay. I love it. I love the title.
Thank
So it
you.
took you what? I don't know. How long did it take you to write the story? When you got
I probably worked on
the
it.
idea?
I'm sorry.
From the time you got the idea?
Probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you're right. It's pretty fast.
Because usually I
Wow.
pretty much write the book in my head before I put it down. Now the swing, like I said, the first book that was published, actually I wrote the short story in college and then just made it into a book. So that one took me a little bit longer, like about 60 years or so.
Who's counting?
Jake was about 2 weeks. Anybody else?
Well done,
good.
Sharon. Well done. You did a great job.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, and it is a great book. My cousins love it.
Good.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
It's great.
Well,
All right.
I appreciate everybody coming to see me tonight and listening to my story. And the other two that go with it, of course, are Charlie's Dream and Lizzie to the Rescue. And then I have, of course, my romance books. Actually, mine are more love stories than romance books. But this last one, this Escape to Live, is very different than my other books. It has.
It's called Escape to Live.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, I like that.
It deals with abuse, with fear, with let's see, with
Hope and
with
new life
mystery,
and
with love,
escaping.
and
Need to get that.
it'll keep you going. And I'm working on a new one now called Love in the Pages of a Book.
Wow.
Oh,
How much is the Escape to Live book?
I I don't remember. Do you remember how
I
much
think
it is?
probably
It's on,
$12.99, $14.99. I don't know.
I
We've
don't
got an
remember.
ebook
It's on
version
Kindle
The
too.
ebook version is probably half that.
Yeah, I don't
So I'll
remember.
send you the link, Hester.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I do apologize for being late. I had a, what is it, malfunction? And yeah,
that's a good word, malfunction.
yeah, malfunction. So I
From one
wanted to-
blonde to another, I understand.
appreciate it.
Well, I
When I
tell you
first
what,
started working with computers, working on computers, I didn't know anything about it. As always, your kids always know more than you do about computers.
Oh, yep.
And my computer always went down, and my son used to call it malfunction junction.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah,
malfunction
yeah.
junction.
He said, "I'm visiting malfunction junction again. Okay, let me go get it going for you again, Dad."
Yeah.
well, if it wasn't for my kids and grandkids and probably great grandkids, I wouldn't even be sitting here looking at y'all. Because I have a great support system because I'm not real good with all this. And Liz always, she's
We're always
rescued me a
learning.
couple of
We're
times.
all learning. We're all learning new
Yes.
things. We're learning new things during this pandemic. And so we're doing the book readings, for the book club, because we're used to going out and talking to people, and we're used to reading in person with people, and we're used to being at the libraries and the schools and the conferences. And so we wanted to, continue that. So we appreciate y'all coming out, supporting us. We hope you'll come and here again, like you say, if you go to the Facebook page under Dynamic Authors, you can see the list of the speakers to come and what their stories are and who's going to be reading over the next few weeks. And we have a variety. We have fiction, we have nonfiction, we have children's books, authors, we have romance, we have
History.
business, we have books about the moon and the sky, and we have poetry and really astonishing poetry. We have how to take a bath.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Yep.
Thank you for
Sales and
inviting me,
leadership
Liz.
and personal growth. We got it all. So we certainly appreciate y'all being here tonight.
And thank
Thank
you
you
all
for
too.
inviting us.
Yes,
you.
and thanks for doing this, Liz. It's a really nice thing. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. Yay, Sharon.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yay.
great job.
Everybody have a
Okay.
good night and be safe.
Good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Now, I don't know how to turn it off.
Well, then you'll just have to stay there.
That's
I'll
right.
be here by
Just stay here and
myself.
drink
Have another
together.
glass of wine.
Good night. I'll be here by myself.
Bye, sweetheart.
Thanks, Kelly. I appreciate you jumping on. And we're gonna do something for Dad later on in the summer.
Yeah, we're gonna do spring or summer when the weather's better, when people have been vaccinated and we can be outside.
I think Becky said something about all of y'all coming to our house for the weekend.
I'm ready.
Get the group
do
together
it.
and we'll have a ball.
I'll pack up the wine.
Okay.
Thank
Oh,
you
I'll
for the
see y'all.
invite.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Love you, Sharon.
Love you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks, Becky. So y'all were watching us on the big screen. We look good? Nope, she's gone too. We're all gone. Okay.